Another violent and deadly weekend in Atlanta from Monday or Friday to Monday morning. 13 different shootings left 19 people injured and 6 people dead. And so far, police say they haven't made a single arrest. Last night,
Keisha Bottoms has destroyed this city. Her policies have ruined this city.
Last night alone, 4 people.
Now you see why Keisha Bottoms cut and ran after her policies completely destroyed this city. She completely destroyed this city. She had a chance after Rayshard Brooks beat up 2 cops, took one of their tasers and shot the other one with the taser, and was subsequently fired upon. She had a chance then to say, yes, I know it's the middle of Black Lives Matter. George Floyd just got killed, St. Floyd. But God damn it, these officers didn't do anything wrong. And I stand by the Atlanta Police Department. Y'all gonna ride anyway. Instead, she kowtowed to the mob. And they rioted anyway, like they did, like they would. You knew they would. They were gonna riot anyway. Either way. Whichever way it went, they was gonna riot. That's how volatile America was at that time. And the criminals became emboldened. The police caught the blue flu. The blue flu went through Atlanta Police Department. Resignations, retirements, 90 going north. Cops afraid the police. And now you got this. 13 shootings in Keisha Bottoms City. Because she's still the mayor. She's just not going for re-election. She's still the mayor. 13 shootings in your city, sister. And no one in custody. That's lawlessness. That's a lawless land. And it wasn't lawless this time last year. May 17th of 2020, Atlanta was it was called Wakanda. They were calling it Wakanda. T.I. and them was calling it Wakanda. Now you have 13 shootings in one night and no arrests. Even the worst cities like Chicago and St. Louis and Baltimore, you'll have 13 shootings and you have arrests made in 2 of the shootings, or arrests made in 4 of the shootings, or even arrests made in half of the shootings. They have no arrest in none of the shootings. And people talking about, so, Keisha, you did a great job. Go do you. You deserve the best. And every last one of these shootings is a black person on the receiving end of that hot lead. Every one of them.
From Monday or Friday to Monday morning, 13 different shootings left 19 people injured and 6 people dead. And so far, police say they haven't made a single arrest. Last night alone, 4 people were shot and killed in 4 separate incidents. 2 of them happened at nightclubs. Atlanta police say they responded to a shooting at Azul Restaurant and Lounge off of Piedmont Road in Buckhead. They say
look at the racist Atlanta PD. Look at the racist Atlanta PD. These men and women had to be called racist. And disparage these black officers. These black officers wake up every morning and go to work in Atlanta to try to keep the people of Atlanta safe. And they don't get nothing but defund the police, abolish the police. We need to reform the police. They kill such and such black. So them black people that get killed deserve to get killed. Them black people that get killed by the police, 90% of them deserve to be killed. And the ones that don't deserve to be killed, they still was committing the crime. They just didn't deserve to be killed during the crime. All black city council, black mayor, black police chief, majority black officers on the force. And this woman went nationwide crying about racism, and everybody believed her. Meanwhile, black women, children, kids, men slaughtered in her city. And they gonna throw a parade for her when she on her last day in office. You niggas is crazy.
Atlanta police say they responded to a shooting at Azul Restaurant and Lounge off of Piedmont Road in Buckhead. They say a 43-year-old man was shot and killed inside the bar. Police have not released any suspect information or a motive. And at Lacura Bar and Bistro, Atlanta police say at least one person was shot and killed. Officers say they responded to the nightclub where they found the man in the parking lot. Police say they have a working motive, but have not said what that was. They ask anyone with information to call Atlanta Crime Stoppers. You do not have to give your name. And another club turned into a crime scene Saturday night when 4 people were shot outside of the popular Trap Museum in the English Avenue neighborhood.
The Trap Museum. That's T.I.'s establishment. The Trap Museum. Now here's the kicker. T.I. won't say a word about this. But if a black dope fiend ODs in the back of a squad car in Wissahickon, Idaho, he gonna be tweeting all day about it. Ain't that crazy? He ain't said a word about this at his Trap Museum. His museum to drug dealers and criminals who found their way out of the streets by rapping. He built a museum to those guys, which is his prerogative. I don't really have a problem with it. Like, if you have a problem with T.I.'s Trap Museum, you need to start a little. You like the person that opened the book in the middle and get mad at what they read. You need to go back to page 1. T.I. ain't gonna say a word about this shooting at his club, a mass shooting at his club. He not gonna say a word about that. He's a raptivist, activist, all that shit. That shit is bonkers, man.
And another club turned into a crime scene Saturday night when 4 people were shot outside of the popular Trap Museum in the English Avenue neighborhood. 11 Alive's Tracy A. McPeer joins us live now after speaking to a witness. Tracy.
Well, police say all 4 victims were leaving the Trap Museum late on Saturday night when someone started firing shots. 3 men hit as they tried to get to their cars. A woman also hurt after being shot in the back. And an Uber driver shared this chilling video of people reacting as shots were fired. The driver, Clint Rosher, said he was picking someone up from the club when he saw a crowd of people start running toward him. The video shows people scattering, trying to get away from the person with the gun.
Just look how black people, black men, I ain't gonna say black people because it's always black men shooting the crowds. They don't care who they hit. When they get mad, well, I ain't gonna say that. When we get mad, we don't care who we hit. Your kids, people who had nothing to do with it. Why don't y'all try to reform that? Because if I'm a cop and I run up on the scene and a dude just shooting haphazardly into a crowd, and then he flee the scene and I chase him, and he get out the car, run into an alley with a gun, and I chase him through the alley, and I catch up to him and he start moving all crazy, I'ma shoot him. And 99% of black people gonna act like they don't know what they have no idea how that happened. How could that happen? Well, if you'll get mad at a guy at a club and you're shooting to a crowd of women, got a bunch of women running in heels and shit, and a bunch of dudes that don't know what the hell's going on just running because they being shot at, what the hell I'm going to think you going to do to me to get away when we in this alley or we on this side street and I'm chasing you? Black folk got to stop being so goddamn idiotic, man.
The driver, Clint Rosher, said he was picking someone up from the club when he saw a crowd of people start running toward him. The video shows people scattering, trying to get away from the person with the gun.
And I was still hearing gunfire even then, so it went on for quite a while, probably 15, 20 seconds or so. And then I could even hear the gunfire as I drove away. You know, obviously I was scared, but I was also really concerned about the people running towards me because I knew the gun person was on the other side of that.
Now, all 4 victims were taken to the hospital, but we haven't gotten an update on their conditions. Police have not said anything so far about a motive or if the victims were targeted or just innocent bystanders. Right now, they are still looking for the gunman who they believe was in a black Charger with red stripes.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Moore. We begin with developing details coming out about a tourist shot in Midtown. That word coming tonight from the police commissioner. CBS 2's Corey James is live in the Garment District with more. Corey.
And Jessica, the 7-Eleven closed its doors for the night about an hour ago. The manager would not tell us if that was because of the shooting that happened.
My nigga, you got on too much makeup. Fire your stylist, bruh. Your face beat. My man face is beat.
And Jessica, the 7-Eleven closed its doors for the night about an hour ago. The manager would not tell us if that was because of the shooting that happened last night. But what we do know is that there are cameras inside this convenience store that were rolling at the time of the shooting. Inside the 7-Eleven by this table with bananas is where the store clerk says a man was shot Saturday night. He was not here when it happened near 37th Street and 8th Avenue, but police say the call came in just before 11:30. According to authorities, a 41-year-old man visiting from Ohio got into an argument with 26-year-old Abduhai Diallo.
Give me a race on Abdu Abdi Ali. Abdu Abdi Ali. Is he Arab or is he black? Abdu Abdi Ali.
According to authorities, a 41-year-old man visiting from Ohio got into an argument with 26-year-old Abduhai Diallo. Diallo, who is from Brooklyn, is accused of pulling out a gun, firing several rounds, and shooting the tourist in the thigh.
No, I'm coming from New Jersey.
That is concerning for this customer checking out.
Thinking I'm safe, getting out of the club, going to a 7-Eleven, trying to get some cigarettes. Then somebody got shot. I would never came here.
Now look at this brother, man. This brother came to New York to go to the club. And a lot of people don't understand that even whether this brother's from the streets or not, whether he ex-thug or he got a criminal record, whatever, it's not even important with this time. The fact that somebody just got shot and you out of town, that's very concerning to even black men who from the streets. Nobody wants to get shot. Nobody wants to come to another state and go to an establishment and find out somebody just got shot. That make you feel uneasy. Like, oh, they shooting out here? Like, this is a tourist area. Damn. I was about to ride through the hoods, so I could see where the rappers live. See where Jay-Z grew up at, man. About to ride through the hood, see where Mobb Deep and them grew up at, man. Not anymore. They shooting in the tourist areas. God damn.
No, I'm coming from New Jersey.
That is concerning for this customer checking out.
I'm thinking I'm safe getting out of the club, going to a 7-Eleven, trying to get some cigarettes. Then somebody got shot. I would never came here.
In a tweet tonight, NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea credited these two officers for quickly capturing Diallo and taking him into custody.
I would be remiss if I didn't say salute to these two officers, these two race soldiers. Suspected white supremacists. That, slave caught, because, the cops originated with the slave catchers. The origin of policing is the slave catchers. No, the hell it ain't. Don't let these niggas online, these pseudo-historians tell you that crap. The origin of the police is not the slave catcher. The origin of the police is the centurions back in the Bible. The first police department in the United States is 1832 in Boston. They had police in London before then. But they've always had law and order. They've always had centurions, soldiers, people. Musketeers were like cops in Europe. You always had people who kept order, or people who could arrest people at the king's request. You always had order. This whole crap that policing started with slave catchers. Yes, they had slave catchers. This catch runaway slaves, yes. That happened. Yes. It was a bad thing. But the police now ain't got nothing to do with that. And I'm tired of people walking around with cotton drawers talking about the police started as slave catchers, man. Well, you got on cotton drawers. So what you trying to say? You support slavery too? Because your drawers started in slavery. Millions of slaves used to pick this material that your drawers is made out of. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Police started as the slave catchers. Okay, so what? It didn't, but if it did, so what?
In a tweet tonight, NYPD Commissioner Dermot Shea credited these two officers for quickly capturing Diallo and taking him into custody. Meantime, the shooting is the third Midtown incident involving a tourist in 6 weeks. Last weekend, a woman from Rhode Island was hit by a stray bullet in Times Square. And last month, a 44-year-old man from Kansas survived being shot in the shoulder by a stray bullet while passing two men arguing near 38th Street and 8th Avenue. People who live in New York City say the gun violence is getting out of control.
This is too much. It's too much.
Well, the gun violence, it's terrible. It is very terrible. These young people just, they ain't got no sense of direction.
Let me fix that for you, Miguel Pacheco. I know you don't want to say, you can't say this, man. You down, you black and brown coalition. These young black people don't have no sense of direction. All these shootings are done by Negroes, man. From somewhere. FBA, ADOS, Haitian, Jamaican, African. They all Negroes doing all these shootings. Miguel Pacheco.
This is too much. It's too much.
Well, the gun violence, it's terrible. It is very terrible. These young people just, they ain't got no sense of direction.
And Diallo faces numerous charges, including attempted murder. The out-of-town victim was taken to Bellevue Hospital with a broken leg. We are told he is expected to survive. For now, we're live here in Midtown. Corey James, CBS 2 News.
All right. Just hours before, shots rang out at a busy living and shopping area in Buckhead. Atlanta police say a large pool party got out of hand and 3 men were shot. Again, no one has been arrested. Joe Ripley has reaction from the community.
No one was fighting, no one was yelling, people were coming in, there was a boombox playing music, kind of everyone seemed to be having a lot of fun.
A pool party with a splash no one expected.
Now this is one of those condominiums, those new buildings they're building in these cities where the rent's like $2,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. They got shared spaces where you can pool deck. They got grills, propane grills, like just lined up. My cousin lives in one. I live in one, but mine doesn't have all those amenities. We have a nice computer room and a nice weight room, but the one my cousin lives in, it's just amazing. Amazing. It looks just like this, but there's one problem. And they do this at my cousin's building. If you live there, you can rent out the space for a day or for a block of time, right? And people be having parties and they be inviting a bunch of people. And anytime a certain group of people congregate, there's going to be problems. So I've seen this at these new apartment buildings. People pay so much money to live there, and then you come down to the pool one day, or you come down to the communal area, where it might be lawn chairs and stuff to sit out and, just get some sun. And it's like a bunch of niggas with their pants hanging, dreads, tattoos all over their face. Nigga. You hear 1,000 niggas and shit. Loud screeching and talking and dick and pussy. And you hearing all these words and shit. And you like, let me go back upstairs. And then it's over. And then it's trash everywhere. Litter all over the place. And you paying $2,500 for a 1-bedroom and shit. To get away from that. And it found you because one person who lived there rented out the space and invited 100 of the group you was trying to stay away from right to your front door. I seen it, man.
No one was fighting, no one was yelling, people were coming in, there was a boombox playing music, kind of everyone seemed to be having a lot of fun.
A pool party with a splash no one expected. Christopher Smith was hanging out at the pool moments before gunfire erupted. Atlanta police say a fight escalated among a large group at the lobby of the Peninsula at Buckhead Apartments, then spilled outside, leading to the gunshots.
It's a major shopping center. There's families coming here. It's still 7:30 at night, right? There's kids that are going to be out there. There's going to be, the 22-year-old who got shot's basically a kid, right? So just kind of innocent people just going about their lives.
3 people, including a customer at the nearby Home Depot, were injured and taken to the hospital.
Somebody who was just shopping at a nearby Home Depot got hit by one of these stray bullets. And they ain't gonna call this terrorism. And everybody gonna act like they don't know who doing it. They don't know, and they don't know who doing it, but the cause of it is racism or systematic or institutional something. But I thought you couldn't tell us who doing it. Thought we couldn't talk about who doing it. Yeah, we can't talk about who doing it, but the cause is... Oh, Lord, man, I tell you, man. Whew. Somebody crossed the street at the Home Depot just shopping, man. I'm some kind of fucking coon and shit. It'll be like, goddamn.
There's families come here. I mean, it's still 7:30 at night, right? There's kids that are going to be out there. I mean, there's going to be, like the 22-year-old who got shot's basically a kid, right? So just kind of innocent people just going about their lives.
3 people, including a customer at the nearby Home Depot, were injured and taken to the hospital. The victims are 22, 55, and 71 years old.
I saw a ton of cars, of police cars, sirens blaring, come into the parking lot, swinging through at a very high speed, and it was really scary.
Okay, so this gives us a good view. The Home Depot's across the street. Those bullets could have hit anybody, anywhere. Like I told you, when we shoot, and I'm gonna start using we because I'm a black man, and man, I be feeling like blowing some shit. I be feeling like shooting people too all the time, man. And it'll be niggas, because the way niggas act, niggas so disrespectful and catty, disrespectful. So I'm gonna say we. I ain't gonna say them. But I don't carry a gun, so not carrying a gun helps me out. Because if I carried a gun, I'd have shot some of these niggas. They so disrespectful, man. And they so reckless, man. Just to shoot they'll shoot. When a brother get mad, he's shooting everybody who right there.
I saw a ton of cars, of police cars, sirens blaring, come into the parking lot, swinging through at a very high speed, and it was really scary.
Mac Thomas works mere feet away from where the shooting happened. He says crime has grown in an area that hadn't normally had a history of violence.
As a bystander walking down the street, I kind of feel safe, but at the same time, there's always that voice in the back of my head that's like, if somebody gets mad across the street, you could be one of the ones hurt.
These are reports that you don't get used to.
Atlanta City Councilman Howard Shook wants to hold the apartment complex owned by Arium, a Carroll company, responsible.
If you own an apartment complex and you allow for a party to be advertised, worldwide on social media that results in a gunfight, there's a problem.
If you own a property and you allow niggas, a bunch of niggas to come up there, you should be held responsible. I fixed it.
If you own an apartment complex and you allow for a party to be advertised, worldwide on social media that results in a gunfight, there's a problem.
We reached out to the owners of the complex for comment, but have not heard back. And while Shook is petitioning for more experienced police presence in the area, Christopher Smith says he'll take his chances.
Crime has spiked, but still, it's a small percentage of total population. But I think there's always...
Hit one if you heard my man tell the truth in a way that liberals ain't even smart enough to call it. They gonna get it now that I blew them up, but the way he did it, the way he told the truth about what's going on was very slick. Hit one if you caught it.
Christopher Smith says he'll take his chances.
Crime has spiked, but still, it's a small percentage of total population. But I think there's always something you have to think about.
According to recent APD crime stats, shootings in the Atlanta area are up 51% from this time last year. Several other types of violent crime also up. Earlier this month, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms addressed the crime in the wake of another violent weekend like this one. The mayor said the city is working to hire 250 more officers, but interim police chief Rodney Bryant says the department is having a difficult time recruiting qualified officers given the current climate of police-community relations across the country. But Mayor Bottoms cautioned it will take more than an increase in officers to reduce crime.
No, the hell it won't. That's all it's going to take. giving these niggas a bunch of money and programs, stupid ass programs and shit. That's all these sisters want to do. They want to program you to death. You seen the video the other day? You already paying $3,000, $2,000 a year in taxes for them to do, for these hoodlums to go out here and shoot up everybody. Why do we have to pay more for taxes for stupid ass programs? Rec centers that they're going to turn into fucking hangouts for gangsters, and there's going to be shootings at the rec centers. Housing and shit, affordable housing, where they're going to turn it into a place where you can't even go. The goddamn ambulance going to be scared to go in there. So no, the only thing that will work is more policing, Keisha.
There are too many guns on our streets and too many people in our communities who don't have regard for basic human life.
They also talked about working with the ATF and other agencies to cut down on the number of guns getting into criminals' hands. Interim Chief Bryant says APD is also focusing on community outreach and more programs for the city's youth to help prevent future crime.